Welcome back to 100 Days in Minecraft Mining Dimensions Episode 2. And we are going to jump straight into this with building our starter base. So I went into this one without actually having a plan. I wanted it to be somewhat smaller and I couldn't decide on something, and I wanted it to fit on this hill. That was the extent of the planning that I had made for this initial build. Later builds will have much more planning going into them, but this one was fairly simple, and so I felt that we could do it just in game. And I did make a couple of mistakes here at the beginning. They had to be corrected later on, but we did go ahead and jump straight in, and then we've got the initial first floor frame pretty much done, and we step on into making it even. So taking out that floor on the bottom real quick, so that we can go ahead and put in our flooring. So we took out that base, and here at the bottom we are switching out those cobblestone bricks at the very bottom for birch wood, because we are doing a birch flooring in here. After that is done, go ahead and make it all good. And when it comes to flooring, that is as far as we are going to get at the moment. After running off to get something real quick, we go ahead and prep for the night by first lighting up some torches, putting down our bed, before then heading to sleep and putting some more torches on up. At which point we will continue building with the second floor. So we are going to go ahead and put that roof, or the flooring of the second floor, roof of the first floor, ceiling of the first floor in. This is going to be dark oak. It did take some finagling on exactly how I was going to do this, and some crafting of some more items. After which point we went ahead and took out the staircase that had been placed inside, gathered some more materials, and started on our second floor. We're going to start with a nice outline of the dark oak, and then brought our cobblestone walls on up. And as you can see, I am leaving that side area off, because that is going to be sort of our porch outlook that I like adding to our buildings, especially when I have a second floor to them, which is most of them. And that is going to be the end of that day. Back up to the top, and we've got some more to do. Looking at our second story, trying to figure out how I want to do this roof, and we went ahead and went with my original idea. It is not how I usually do roofs, and let me know in the comments how you like it. This will not be our final build, this is just our initial starter house, but please tell me how you like this roof style. It's the first time I've done it, and though I've grown to like it throughout this series, it did give me some problems at the beginning. And this is the area, or this is the part where I realized, hey, I made a mistake clear back at the beginning, and we needed to fix that. So we went ahead and fixed it. Somewhat difficult because we're going straight through where we've already placed on our chests that currently have all of our storage. Doing that quickly left us open to night, before we went ahead and we started to move on to the rest of the roof. With a few momentary stops to get the small little detail work out of the way. Now, I am making this floor of this second story bottom slabs, because if the slabs are on the bottom, that means mobs cannot spawn, which adds a little bit of extra spawn proofing to our house. Because no matter the light level, Endermen are still going to usually spawn if you have the 3 blocks required. And that is the main part of our house finished. We still have a little bit more of the roof done. As you can see, I did the front window there. Adding some lighting. Deciding on how to add this last bit of the roof in. That we'll go ahead and we move on to this last outline of the main part of the roof, which is upside down stairs to give it that little bit of overhang that I like to add. Also, the bottom of the stairs, especially if they're upside down like that, make it look like there's a little bit of a gutter or something like that that hangs down off of it. It's a little bit tricky getting it into this side over here, because I did want to add this sort of porch thing into it, so the roof had to actually be done twice to get this done to look correctly. After adding that layer of slabs down and then adding that on in, we get something that looks like this. And then because I did decide to go ahead and cover that porch, I had to fix that side of the roof as well. It's just pulling it out across like this did not look all that great, and so it had to be fixed. After doing that with the roof, I realized that I needed to bring this down one more if I want to do this floor the way that I want it. And so we worked on clearing out the remainder of the flooring, or the dirt floor, yet again, before going in and putting the birch planks and stair slab floor that I want. And it is a mixture of all of this, so gives the house some extra body. Getting the stairs in just the right direction was a bit tricky, but we got it done. And we moved on. And of course, it also came down to deciding where I wanted to make the hard decisions. So, slabs left, go ahead and cover the floor. There we go. Now we just needed to add some more decorations, namely moving a lot of the chests on inside and that kind of thing. With the floor done, it was time to put in our decorations, which would mainly in this case be storage space. With this being our initial base and me not having built a storage building yet, we weren't going to do our usual decorations for kitchens and all of that kind of things. It did mean taking out a couple of things to make sure that we were putting in slabs so that we could still open the chest later on. But it was more than feasible. And would definitely work. Having put the chests in downstairs, we went ahead and we started on the support beams up for the house. what these basically are is they're an accent point to the house to give it just that little extra piece, but also to give them a more realistic edge by giving them something that would actually go more into the foundation of the house. Adds that credence, that little bit of extra piece of realism that makes the house just a little bit more. After that, it was a lot of sorting materials, putting things into chests, that kind of thing. A little bit boring and tedious, but nonetheless, stuff that had to be done. Lightning rods on the top, though we ended up only going with the one. It's a small enough house, despite the roof being wood, the one lightning rod should be enough. With most everything put away, it's time for the next big piece to finish off the house, and that would be the doors. Went ahead and placed them, and then made sure to place them sideways so that when they are technically open, they look shut. And this prevents any zombies or anything like that from knocking it down. Went ahead and added some of our final decoration details, put our stuff away, and moved on from there. With that, our house may not look gorgeous, it may not be completely finished. We would be adding some more chests and that kind of thing later on, no doubt, but it was finished for the moment. And then I decided it wasn't quite finished because this little piece of flooring over here needed some extra work. I like symmetry in my builds, and the floor here just wasn't symmetrical. It wasn't matching up, it wasn't aligning, and there was a quick fix. That we could make, that we ended up making. Filling back in the rest of the chests, and there we go. With that done, it was time to return back upstairs with some fences to go ahead and secure that so we couldn't just walk off the side. With the house now finished, both upstairs and downstairs, it was time to move on. I looked back at the house, felt really good about it, and went to explore. I couldn't help as we left to wonder what biomes would I find? What surrounded our little slice of this world? And what adventures would we see? It didn't take us long to find the first of our probability chests, open it up, and discover the loot inside. And I had no doubt that we'd find many more as we went along. There was a swamp not too far from home that we immediately ran into, and I followed, hoping that we would find a mangrove swamp. With the helpful use of our Xera's mini-map waypoints, we can transfer back and forth without having to actually take our bed with us, which was going to save us some much needed time on our travels. If our inventory got too amazingly full, we could also stop back or jump back home, drop everything back into the chest, and go back as well. We did eventually find a mangrove swamp. It wasn't too big, but it was a good, decent sized swamp. Enough of one that it shouldn't be too hard to get some mangrove wood later on. Seeing this peak, I decided to go ahead and try climbing it, and from the top upper layers, we did go ahead and find a swamp hut that we will eventually loot later on and probably build into a witch farm. It was interesting to find our first desert probability chest. I wasn't expecting it, but then I thought about it, and a savanna, where we were at, is very like temperature wise to a desert, and so it sort of made sense. The warmer climate biomes would have a desert chest, whereas the plains biomes that I keep running into would have more of our lush cave chests, the same as you would find in the lush cave, while our water areas would have the coral chest. And there we ran into our first mimic. We did go ahead and kill it right off the bat. Wasn't too difficult. They can be a pain though when you've got too many items in your hand and you're not expecting an attack. I am going to go ahead and end the commentary for this section of the video here and let you explore the beauty of the landscape that we have seen and that we will see on this adventure in peace. Enjoy. thank you all for watching this episode of 100 Days in Minecraft Mining Dimensions. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, or subscribe below, and have a great and wonderful Minecraft day.